Joining me from Las Vegas, Nevada, he is going for the men's bantamweight championship of the world. He is Aljamain Sterling. Aljo, you're in Las Vegas. How early did you get there?
I live here. I have a house here, so I've
So
been
you've been here
here
for a
since.
while, is what you're telling me. I thought you were based in New York. When did you move to Vegas?
I bought a house last year, August, after my fight with Sandhagen, and after Marab's fight.
All right. Well, I apologize for not knowing that. But so where have you been doing most of your training at Extreme or Syndicate?
Mostly at Extreme. It's just a little easier for me to get there, and the training schedule a little easier. It just works better with how I train for back home. So I split my time here. I got back out here in February. Started my camp out in Long Island, and came out here.
What made you decide to buy a place in Las Vegas?
Uh, there's a couple of factors: financials, good weather, fight mecca, and having access to the UFC PI, the strength and conditioning coaches. Them just being able to take more off of my plate and doing me having to do a less of the thinking work, the dummy work, I guess we call it.
I know you dabble in a lot of real estate. So did you look into, I guess, this particular market before you moved here?
A little bit. I actually wanted to move out here in 2016. No, actually 2017. I wanted to move out here. It never happened. But then bought my first house in Long Island 2018, and then from there bought my mom's house 2019, and got my next house here in 2020.
Are you
So yeah,
are you still fighting and flipping with Ally Akinta? That's what you've told me in previous interviews. That's what you like to call it, fighting and flipping.
fighting and flipping. Yeah, we haven't done anything. That never really took. It never really materialized the way I thought it was going to. But we both do real estate. Al does more of the hands-on work with showing people houses and stuff like that. And for me, it's more like referral work. And any of my friends that I know, if they want to buy a house, then I would personally take them out and that type of thing. Other than that, I just train too much to be able to have the time to do that every day.
Yeah, I'd imagine if somebody calls and says we've got an open house we'd like to go to at 2 o'clock, and you've got training at 2 o'clock. I think the training probably takes precedence over that. So when it comes to your corner this weekend, who's going to be in your corner?
I got Longo, I got Eric Nixick out here, one of the coaches at Extreme Couture, and I got two of my training partners, Delemy and Dennis. They're gonna be in the corner as well. It's just a little different with the quarantine times in terms of training, cutting weight. I need bodies I can work out with, people that can help be like my punching bag. Whoever's helping the corner, we know like you're the punching bag for the week for the person to lose weight with. So uh, I got two bodies for me to use and interchange that with, and more my size. I don't really hit pads like that too often, so this is more practical for me, and I feel a lot more comfortable doing this. I've been doing it for years at this point, and those are gonna be my four guys.
Well, that's a pretty elite corner when you have Coach Longo and Coach Nixick, both phenomenal coaches. When you look at Petr Yan, I think the biggest knock on him right now is his resume, who he's beaten to become the champion of the bantamweight division. If you were to compare yourself to his previous opponents, who do you think is the next best guy he's fought, and how much better do you think you are than that guy?
The next best guy he fought, I would imagine Jose Aldo, and that's based off his accolades in terms of what he's done in the division thus far. Not He hasn't done very much, but that's who I would compare it to. Um, but yeah, it's a little different. And the other thing with that, they were former training partners, so things are a little different. Don Alejandro just walked in, fighting and flipping.
So you believe at this stage in the game that you're a much better fighter than Jose Aldo when it comes to the bantamweight division. You have many more accolades, and you're probably going to bring a different look to Yan that he hasn't seen before.
I think so. I would imagine that. I think Aldo's good, but for sure he's still a legend. Still got some fight left in the gas tank, but I think it's just a little different in terms of my style, my pace, his cardio, his gas tank. I think he fades a lot more. We've seen it with him in the past. I think him cutting down to 35 has made things very different for him. And I say he's a cowboy, man. He's a gunslinger when he's out there in the pocket. He has a missile for a right hand. He goes to the body a lot with that liver shot. Uh, it was a good fight between the two guys, but I think they had one thing missing, which was the wrestling. They just stood in front of each other and exchanged punches and kicks.
Do you feel like Jan's wrestling might be underrated? We haven't really seen a ton of it, but he hasn't had a lot of problems keeping the fight on the feet when he has been challenged in that realm.
Yeah, I think he's good on the feet, man. I think defensively he's going to be tough to take down, but I think my pressure is just the difference. I think me just keeping the constant pressure on him and not giving him any space to breathe, it's going to be hard to really get off with your strikes when you're constantly dropping your hands for underhooks and pummeling and doing all those things and level changing, and it's just a different fight. You look at any of his other fights, none of those fights were like that. The one fight he had against the Korean guy, I think Jin Soo Son, took him down, I think, 3 times in that fight. One of the times he held him down for a pretty extensive, for about a minute, until he made one mistake on the top where he got reverse. He had like one hook in, shallow hook, and it wasn't done the right way. And Yan was able to slip his right arm through and end up back on top. So I think that's the difference, man. He's fighting a different level of grappler. I said before, man, there's black belts and then there's black belts, you know. So that with my wrestling, my ground and pound, I think he's going to have a lot of trouble, especially with my cardio.
You've got your Vayner Sports shirt on. Another individual represented by Vayner Sports is Cory Sandhagen, your last opponent. When you look at what he's done since then, do you almost feel like you're entering this fight as the champion? You've beaten the guy that I think has really established himself as a top guy in this division, and you did it with relative ease.
Yeah, for me, that fight was for the belt. You know, that's the way I looked at that fight. And I think he would have agreed to that as well. We were the highest ranked guys, and we fought the only guys. We were the only guys to fight people in the top 5. You know, Yan never did that, and he was granted a title shot. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. The fight's here. We're gonna figure out who is who. But I think that fight between Sandhagen and I was for the uncrowned champ, and I think the people know. They know the body of work, the ones that really follow the sport. And now we get the opportunity to kind of solidify that. Petr Yan could bring his interim title to the octagon.
I like the way you think. When you look at the division, let's say you win this fight. You're going to win this fight in your mind, of course. They come to you. They call you into a meeting. They say, Aljamain, great performance. You're the champ. We have 2 options for you. We got TJ Dillashaw. He never dropped the title officially. He never lost anybody. Of course, he was suspended and lost the belt in that way. And we've got Cory Sandhagen, who you've beaten before. But look at those last 2 performances. You can't really deny this guy. Which of these guys do you think is more worthy of a title shot?
More worthy? As of right now, I would say Sandhagen. But then you have Rob Font, who's coming up, just beat Marlon. But Sandhagen just beat Marlon. You got Yan. That top 10 is so interchangeable. It's like these pieces of the puzzle can fit any which way you want them to go. I would think I think TJ and Sandhagen should fight. I think that would be the number 1 contender fight right there, and then go from there to keep the division moving. Or even one of those guys fight a Cody Garbrandt. So I would think that's the fight that should be made.
Yeah, certainly an interesting look. Do you feel like you need to beat TJ to establish yourself as the champion? Again, this is someone who's never lost the belt. I think him and, the 2 of you match up in a very interesting way because of his wrestling, his stand-up, and your wrestling, and how you've really evolved the wrestling in this division. Do you feel like you need that notch on your belt? No,
I don't. I think TJ's been cheating for years. He finally got caught, and all his wins on that run to the title for me were all tainted, So this was the one time he got popped and got caught for what he did, and I think the real people know. The people who are around the sport know. This MMA community is so small. People talk so much, and this has been known knowledge that TJ's been cheating for years. So to me, yeah, he looked great. People are going to say, well, that didn't help him throw the combination. Yeah, it's bullshit. But if you're in the sport, So I don't feel like need to fight TJ to solidify anything. If he wins, then yes. But we'll see what happens.
What are your plans? Again, if you win the belt, you go back to your residence in Vegas that I just found out about. You go to sleep, wake up in the morning. What do you want to do as champion? It's your first day. You're the undisputed bantamweight champion of the world. Give me your ideal day.
My ideal day after fighting and winning would be for sure waking up in the morning, starting the day with a nice tequila, pineapple, something like that. Maybe go out to the strip, walk around a little bit. If not that, I don't know. We'll see how. I got to see how beat up I am. That's really what things are about. And maybe hit a nice restaurant, get some good food. I'm a simple man. I don't ask for much. Give me my tequila, and I'm a good man. I'm a good, happy man.
Do you have a brand of choice?
I drink. I dabble with a bunch of different stuff. I like the rock stuff. Terramana, tried that. I like Don Julio. 1800 is good, and Casablanco, the white and blue bottle. That's a really good one.
All right. Well, you have Joseph Benavidez on the same card as you. If you need any sort of restaurant recommendations, he really prides himself in being able to point people in the right direction in Las Vegas. So I recommend you have a chat with him backstage if you catch him.
Yeah, for sure.
Or when you train with him next week, because he trains at Extreme Couture. So I'm sure you see Joe B a lot.
Yeah, we see each other a lot at the gym. We do.
All right, Aljo. Well, best of luck to you against Petr Yan. Really appreciate your time. I also would recommend that people watch the feature that the UFC did on you on YouTube. It's really phenomenal. Get to learn a lot about your background, a lot of what you've overcome in life, and really kudos to you for being able to use something that was going wrong in your life and channel strength from it to become a future champion. And I appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys.